Hey guys, it's Matty here. Just wanted to kick things off with a tutorial. I meet so many people who tell me they can't draw, or, and I'll look at their drawing and I'll be like, man, you can draw. That's way better than you think it is. Maybe there's one or two lines that could have been changed and stuff like that, but I mean, every single artist has that. Like they'll try to draw something and perspective will be wrong, or something will be out of place, or it's just the way it is. So I mean, if you spend a bit more time with your drawing, I think that's the key. Like if you draw something and it doesn't look so good, that happens to everyone. So I mean, it might just be like 2 or 3 lines that you just got to change, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, that does look good. That's really way better than I anticipated it was going to be. So hopefully I can show you in this tutorial just how easy drawing can be. Like I hear so many people, like they say, I can't draw. But if you look here, like what I'm circling here is just, I mean, it's just a line. It's nothing more. So the hardest thing for someone just beginning is it all looks too complex, And this is a simpler drawing, but I mean, when you get into something that's really, really complex, you'll think to yourself, oh man, I could never draw that. That's so difficult. But if you just break it down, little portions of the drawing, I mean, it's just it's in the shape of a triangle, or it's in the shape of a T or something like that. Just this tiny, if you look at the whole drawing, yes, it's going to be intimidating, but if you look at a little portion, you'll just say to yourself, oh, I can draw that. That's not a big deal. So that's all you really got to do. You just draw that, and then you say, okay, well, what's the next part of this drawing? And so I'll add to that. And then people will draw something, and then they'll find that the proportions are all wrong and stuff like that. But don't get discouraged by that. Like that's everyone does that, makes that mistake. So all you got to do is just go back and say, okay, I made this too big, or I made this too small. I'll rub that out, make that look a little bit better. That's not a big deal. So yeah, I just encourage you to just stick with it. Like when someone says they can't draw, I don't think that's true. I think everyone can draw. I mean, if you break this down, like if you look at this drawing I'm doing right now, it's just a series of lines that just, and you'll see me, like I'll draw something and then I'll say, nah, that's not right. I've got to rub that out and start again, So that's all drawing is. And so if you keep that in mind, you might find, I've seen so many artists, or people who could potentially be an artist, and they'll show me something and they'll say, oh, Matty, this is terrible. This is no good. And I'll be like, well, it's actually, like, if you looked at some of my drawings when I first started, and I was telling people, oh, I want to be an artist, all this sort of stuff, and they were just looking at me like I had 2 heads. They were just like, what, you're never going to be an artist, that's terrible. And I've had people show me their drawings, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, oh, I'm just not an artist, I'm terrible. I'm like, that is 10 times better than anything I produced when I first started. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to make a video and try to encourage people who are thinking about drawing and stuff like that, and just to get into it. Just all it is practice, and just a series of lines put in the right spot. So I mean, if you mess it up, rub it out, do it again, no big deal. Yeah, so hopefully this encourages you to, just keep trying and keep drawing. And I think the big key is to so say you want to draw buildings, or you want to draw people, or whatever it is. So when you first start drawing, your buildings may not look that great. I know mine did. They were terrible. But then as you go, if you can just stick with one thing, like if you can stick with like a building or whatever it is you want to draw, and just keep drawing those, you'll build up your mental, like your library in your head. It'll surprise you. After a while, someone will say, "Oh, can you draw a building?" And you'll just draw it just from memory. It'll be no big deal. But whereas when you first start, it's hard. Like you don't, you look at buildings every day, but you don't really look at them. Not as someone drawing a picture would. They're like, okay, this goes here, this goes here. This is where this fits into this, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's just getting practice, and you'll see here, like, okay, I wish I had some of my old drawings so I could show you, but I mean, look at this. This is basically your building looks like a banana. You've got it, your perspective's wrong. And I've done this 100 times. I've made that mistake 100 times. So easy enough, no big deal. All you have to do is go back, just straighten things out, make it look like it's, well, you don't want a banana, but so just straighten her up, make it look like whatever you're drawing, and you're set. So the second one, this is another common mistake. I've done it a million times too. Like here, I'm putting the window in, but I put it way too over to the left side. So no big deal, rub it out, do it again. Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen so many people who can draw, and they have a unique way of drawing. It's their own perspective on things. I'm like, man, that's a good artist. They're way better than I am. And then all of a sudden they'll say, no, I tried it once and it just doesn't look good. And I'm like, that's, if you try it once, it doesn't work out. There's so many artists out there that draw things multiple times, and they might draw something like 4 or 5 times just to get it right. Here's another common mistake, like one end of the building is huge, one is small, so no big deal, just rub it out, get it looking straight again. That might take a couple of stabs, no big deal. And then your picture's looking, it's just looking fantastic. Whereas if you've just done it once and thought to yourself, geez, I can't draw, that's not true. Like you can, like you just gotta do it a couple of times. And in this last example, this is a happy accident. Okay, I drew a building one time, and see how the roof is bowed? That's kind of a good tip for you. If you are drawing a building, see how it looks good. It looks interesting. People will look at that and say, "Oh wow, that's cool." So that just comes with practice. You do a whole bunch of drawings, and then all of a sudden you'll do one, and it might not be exactly the same as the original, but you'll be thinking, "Man, that looks great." So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. It's just one of those things you just got to stick with, and you'll be fine. You'll start drawing things and you'll be thinking, man, that's so much better, and that'll encourage you just to keep going. So I hope this video helps you to realize that you can draw. Like everyone can draw. It's just a matter of putting lines in the right spot And if they aren't in the right spot, don't get discouraged. Everyone does that. Everyone makes, they'll try to draw a chair and it'll look out of proportion or whatever. It's just something you stick with and do it again and again. And then you'll find, you might have to do it again and again the first time, and then the second time it'll be so much easier, and then the next time it'll be so much easier. So yeah, hopefully this helps you and makes you want to draw more.